Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay. All right. So on the previous day, we finished subqueries concept and normalizations and subqueries notes I have already uploaded. I hope you got it or you saw that.
Yes, ma'am. Same.
Yes. Okay. So now today, let's start a new concept called as views. Okay. Views is basically a very small concept. Okay, first let's understand about what is views, and then I will explain you about ER diagrams as well in this class. Okay, so first let's start about views. I already activated Maven Movies database. So what is views in the sense? So far we worked on tables, right? We created tables. We understood what is tables. Whatever we did so far, we learned each and every concept on the tables, right? If you can see here any of my database, you can see almost four things here. One is tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. Now let's try to understand what views are. Okay, so basically view is nothing but it is a way of storing a query, I can say. If we really want to talk technical, if anyone, this will be the technical definition of what is view. Most of the, most of the persons or many many where maybe you heard that most of the people will say what is view, in the sense they will say like view is called as a virtual table or something like that. So of course we have a word called as virtual table, but in any, sorry, virtual table, but in any interviews if anyone is asked about what is view, please don't tell that it is a virtual table. Tell this one only. Okay, only for freshers they will ask their definitions, maybe, I mean not only definitions. If anyone is asked you to explain about views, don't use a word called as virtual table and all. That is a wrong concept. Usually maybe few years ago everyone used to say like this only, view is called as virtual table. Of course the concept is okay, but that is not the technical definition. This is the definition of views. Okay, basically views is nothing but it is a way of storing a query. Okay, that means let's solve some examples first. Okay, then you can understand, and after solving some examples I will tell you why we will use views and all. Let's discuss some more points at that time. Before that, let's solve some examples. I already activated my Maven Movies database, and I have many tables in this, as you all know. Let me, I'll just display the data of film first. Select star from film. Okay, I'm executing this. We know we have this many columns, and we have a column called as rating, which we solved many times previously. Mainly whenever we are studying, discussing about the where clause, we solved one example like select star from film where rating is equals to PG maybe. Suppose if I want to display only rating is equals to PG, that is the movies whose rating is PG, if I want to display that data, obviously I will use where clause, and inside the where clause I will give the condition. We all know this, right? I'm executing this. I got my data. You can see here in the rating I have only PG column. I mean PG data here, right? In the rating column I only have my PG data. I'm closing this. So basically what I did here, first I executed normal film table. From that film table, I executed only PG rating movies. Okay, I can say display the film details whose rating is PG. According to any questions which we solved previously, maybe it is clauses, where clause, group by clause, join, subqueries, whatever it is, from day one to till yesterday, whatever concepts we saw, we learned that on tables only. Right, and for every concept, maybe conditions, we will use some conditions, we will use some joins, whatever it is, we wrote some queries. Correct. Now I'm telling that view is a way of storing a query. This is one query, right? It can be any SQL query. It can be a normal select query. It can be this normal select display select star from film. This is also one query, right? It can be this one. It can be joins. It can be subqueries. Anything, any sub, any normal SQL queries or any normal SQL statements. If we want to store separately, we will store in a view. Okay, there is a concept called views. We can store any SQL queries inside the views. Okay, here I wrote one SQL query. This is my question. This is by using where clause, I wrote one query here. Okay. This is the normal way of writing the query. Suppose if I want to create a view on this query, how we will create? Let's see that. Okay. Here, view syntax is very simple. The syntax is only create view, view name as. That's it. I'm saying previously I said create table, table name, like that, right? Now as we are discussing about views, view is completely different from table. What is the difference? I'll discuss going forward. For now, we need to, as we are creating view, we need to use a keyword called as view. This is my view name. I can write any name here, and I need to use as keyword here. This is the syntax of creating views. Okay. In that, after writing as, what can I do? Whatever, for whatever query I want to create the view, that query I can write inside. For example, if I want to store this query inside a view, that means if I want to create, sorry, I forgot keeping. Yeah. So if I want to create a view for this data, I will create like this. I will simply say create view name as. Let me give any view name here. This will be the syntax actually. Syntax of creating a view. Okay. Example, I will say, I will write it as create view. Let me give any view name here. Maybe I am talking about rating is equals to PG in film table, right? So I will write it as maybe V film underscore PG. Okay, like that. Whatever we want, we can give, but we need to make sure in that whenever we are seeing that view name, we need to understand what kind of query we stored in that view. If we write like that, that will be the best way of writing the view names. Okay, here I'm saying view, V is for view. Okay, I'm saying in film I stored PG data. Okay, this is how we need to write create view any view name. We need to give any name for the view. We need to use keyword called as. After that, we can write any SQL statement which we want to, on which we want to create a view. I will just simply select this and execute. You can see at the bottom my view got created, right? If you can see here, I'm refreshing the database here. Previously also, whenever we created the tables, we refreshed, we expanded tables, and we saw the list. Now I will expand the views. Actually, I created on Maven Movies. I already have many views in it. Okay, I'm expanding the views. I already have many views. Okay, still I can see this view. This is the view which I created now. V film PG, correct? Like this, from views So far we searched the tables in inside the tables part. Now we need to search inside the views part. All the views we will created will be stored in this views. Okay, this is the view which I stored or I created just now. Correct. This is the way we will create the view. Okay, to display the view I can say, see, the concept here is what we are doing, we can create views for any SQL statement we want. Okay, basically I did here, what I did here in the sense I stored a select query inside a view. Correct. That is what I wrote in the question. View is a way of storing a query. It is one of the way to store the query. And so I'm storing this query inside this view. Right. So the concept here is instead of writing all the queries again and again, if we know we are going to use this one most of the times, I'm dealing with one project, maybe I'm working for the same Maven movies database kind of project, and I know I will frequently use this syntax, maybe rating is equals to PG, like that. Okay, here as this is our first example, I used very small syntax over here. Maybe we have many joins, right? Previously we solved many examples on joins. If we can see, we have many tables. Whatever examples we did previously, maybe we created joins for film actor and actor table very frequently, right? Like that we created maybe for payment table, customer table, right? We created some joins and we used the conditions accordingly. So if for any kind of long queries, lengthy queries, if we know we are going to use that very frequently, instead of writing instead of writing the queries again and again, what we will do, we will simply create a view for that query. For example, if I can say film table, film actor table, we saw how many examples we created on these tables. We joined these three tables. We know for joining all those tables, we need to write some lines of queries, right? Some lines of code. Instead of writing that complete code again and again, I will create a view on, in that view I will just join those three tables, and whenever I wanted to work on that tables, instead of writing the code again and again, I can simply use that view is something where we can store all the queries and it will store in the database permanently. We can see all the views whenever we want. But what is the difference between table and view, I will tell you in a while. So I created a view for now, right? Now I can, what I will do here, I'll just simply display the view. Let me write it here. If I want to display the data of view, we can do that. I will write simply select star from. I need to use this view name. Okay. Instead of table name, however we displayed the table data, select star from table name. In the same way, we need to use select star from view name. Okay. Now what I will do, this is the view name I created. In this, I stored all my PG related data. If I simply displayed this one, I will get the same data where I will have only my PG values. Right?
Divya, I have one question.
Yes, please.
That is, V is like fits like any name can be right. For just for reference, we are giving
Yeah,
V for these,
if
right?
we yeah, just for understanding, I give you, you can give any name you want.
Okay, okay then.
If without v also, you can directly write it as film underscore pg, because obviously inside views only we will have all the views which we were created. Just we need to make sure, you can even give only film also, it will work. But whenever if we want to use, if we go back, we need to understand on which view, inside which view what kind of data is there, right? That is the reason we usually prefer writing like this. If we see like this, we can understand, okay, this is about films data
V.
in which we stored PG data, like that.
Okay, okay
Just
then.
for our, yeah, just for our understanding, or else you can simply give V1 V2 anything you want, it will be stored. Okay. So yeah, I just displayed this. As you can see, I got only PG data. Correct. So what I did here, instead of writing the table, instead of using where clause and giving the condition, once I stored this data in the view, I just displayed that one. correct? Going forward tomorrow also, if I want to work on it, I won't use this code. I will just directly, I will display this, I will do whatever I want with on the views also. Like this it will be. Did you got idea about what is view? Is that clear,
Yes.
everyone?
Ma'am, what is the use of view in real time?
Yes, I'll tell what is the difference between tables and views, and we have many points here. But for now, what is view? How to create view is okay, right? For you, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So let's discuss some more points here. This is how we will create the views, and this is how we will display the views. Next, see what are the uses for using. I mean, why we are using views in the sense I can say almost 2 to 3 points here. First thing is that instead of writing complex queries and executing every time, we can, save or we can create that queries as a view. Correct? Suppose joins are there, we have some 10 lines of code. Instead of writing again and again, I created a join and I just stored in the view. So I can just work on that view also. Whatever data, whatever queries I will, maybe what we call, whatever commands we use on the view will be reflected in the table also. Okay. First, let's understand the uses. Then I will go to that point. The uses are, as I said, instead of writing the long queries again and again, what we will do, we will simply create views, and whenever we need it, whenever we want to work on views as well as the tables also, we can directly work on the views only, so that whatever data we worked for, maybe we updated something, maybe something what we did on the views, that will be reflected on the table also. Okay, this point I will discuss in a while. For now, just try to understand the use case is that instead of writing again and again this all the queries, we will write a view which helps us to, it will improve the query writing process, I can say. Instead of writing again and again, we can easily process any queries easily and fastly, right? That is the first use case. And the second use case is that any developers will use views to manage all the queries very well. For example, not only developers in our team, or maybe for the client side, obviously clients won't ask for any of the code. They want according to the output, they will according to the requirements, they only want the data to be displayed. That's it. They never bother about the code which what we use. But again, we have multiple domains or some related domains within the project, correct? So if someone asked, for example, maybe someone came as a fresher, they are not that perfect in writing the code, we can consider like that. Or else, if someone from another team, maybe they don't have much knowledge on SQL, but SQL is a common language which is used in all the domains. So someone asked you to share any particular data, any particular code. Okay, at that time, obviously we need to show them, correct? We need to share, we will give the access to them. We will give the access on the data to them. Okay, at that time we may worry that if they make any changes, if they do anything, our complete database will be affected, right? So whenever, if we came across with such situations, if we had to share or give the access of our data to some other persons, with I'm not talking about within our team, some other persons, at that time, instead of sharing the complete database or tables views, I mean table data, what we will do, according to their requirement, what they need actually, did they need any particular kind of data, did they are talking about any particular kind of joins only, what is their requirement, why they need the code, that code only we will create a view, and we will give that code for them. We won't give complete access to our table, we will give the access to the views only. Okay, so that they can view or they can see that code only. Okay,
No,
this is the
ma'am, I
one
didn't
point.
understand.
See, for example, I'm working in one company for one project. Okay, in my team we have 3 members or 4 members. We are working. That is fine. I can share my code, or else whenever we are working 3 4 members also, we will work on the same product, same project only. That is okay. Not about within the team. Maybe I have some kind of account managers or some kind of anyone who is trying to, maybe they are working on some other tool, but they need the access for the database. They know they should know, I mean, if they know SQL only, they will work on the SQL. Okay, if they ask me to give me any of the kind of data, obviously being a SQL developer, I will maintain my database. If anyone asked me that they are working on some tables here, they wanted to access that tables, just imagine like that. At that time, what we will do, instead of giving the complete access to them, what we will do, we will create a view and we will share that view to them. We won't give access to all these tables. I won't give access to actor table, film table, and film actor table. I will ask my admin people to give the access for only views to them. I will create a view. I will join 3 tables over there, and I will ask my admin team to just give the access of that view only, so that they can only, basically without working on the tables, they can work on the they can work on the views. Accordingly, they can see the code. If they want, they can make any changes like that, they will do. Okay, they can work accordingly, but to be on the safer side, to be, I may feel that they may change my code. They may, if they did any mistake, my entire database, my entire work, what I did, it will affect. At that time, instead of giving access to the, I mean, I won't give access. Obviously SQL admin will only give, but I will ask my admin to, to give the access for the view I created, not for the all the tables. Like that it will be. So in this case, we are just, keeping our data securely. We are just giving the access of views only for them. They can work on it. They can do anything they want. We need to create views in such a way that if they made some, blunder in the views, it won't affect our tables. I'll get into that point later. You can understand. For now, just understand, whenever I'm sharing my code with some non-developers or someone else in the company, to keep my code secure, I will give, or I will ask the admin people to give the access on the views only, not on the entire tables. For that, whatever according to their requirement, I will understand their requirement on what data they want to see. On that particular requirement, I will create a view and I will ask the admin people to give that view for them. Basically, this is the thing. Okay. For now, just leave this point. Let me explain you how tables and views are affected. I mean, how they are related. Then you can understand this point clearly. Okay. Okay, Shushavan.
Yeah, understood, ma'am.
So this is how we will use views. First thing, just to save our time, maybe to execute or to work with the things faster. If I am, I won't create views for each and every syntax. I know I'm working on the same data. I know, maybe especially for joins or subquery, something like that. Mostly subqueries we won't use much in real time. Maybe joins, maybe we are using some group by clauses, some kind of data. I know I'm going to use the, for example, maybe payment table and customer table, or always every week my client will ask about the top 10 payments, top 5 payments, something like that. Such queries which we are executing or which we are doing working on frequently. For that, um, queries only, we will create views first of all, so that we can directly use that views instead of writing again and again the same query, is my first point, which makes me to write the queries easily, which saves my time. I can do it very fast. First thing. Second thing, whenever if needed, it won't happen. If it won't we won't come across such scenarios very frequently, but sometimes some other team members, some other people will ask about the especially if some, for some kind of projects, there will be account managers. They will ask the um, they will work on the data. They want to check the data, they want to see according to the requirements. They will ask us the code, okay, basically SQL code. So instead of sharing my complete table, if they with half of knowledge, if they did any mistake, it will obviously affect the database. Again, I need to take care of that, right? So to be on the safer side, to secure my data, I will create a view according to their requirement, and I will ask admin people to share that view for them. If they make any changes also, it will just show the changes in the view level only, it will not affect the table. Okay, how to do that I will explain you in a while. So that is a second point. Okay, that is to be on the safer side, to maintain some security levels. Whenever we are sharing a code to the outsiders or non developers, we will give the access of views, not the tables. This is my second use case. Okay, I hope I'm clear.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Views always save in the memory, right?
sorry.
And it'll views always save in the memory, right?
Yes, yes, it will save permanently in the database
Okay.
until and unless we will remove or we delete that, we drop that completely, it will be okay. So that is the second use case I can say. And third one, the same as I said, query writing process will become easier, right? Instead of writing again and again, we can write, we can use the views, and we can reduce the lines of code whenever we are writing. That's it, that is the use of views. Now let's see some more important points here. Okay, see what I did, I created one view, I displayed that view. Okay, so if needed I can alter the view also. Okay, whatever view I created, if I want to make any changes in the view, I can alter that view. Okay, for now I created one view here. Let me alter that view by, I already used PG data inside that. So maybe I will now wanted to add some more along with this data. So what I will do, I will simply say alter view, view name. Okay, this is a syntax we need to follow. Alter view name as, this is the thing which I already created. This, up to this rating is equals to PG, I already created. Suppose I want to include some other thing here, I may use and operator or operator, whatever it is, according to the conditions, according to the requirements. We know how we will write SQL queries, right? So accordingly, I may add some more data into this view. Previously, I had only PG kind of data. Maybe I will say length greater than 100. These are the first, whenever we are learning where clause, this two examples only we learned, right? That is the reason, and I'm explaining the same thing here. Accordingly we can do according to the requirement, according to the need, we can do anything we want. Previously I stored only rating is equals to G data in this view. Now I added this condition also, that is rating is equals to G, and my length of the duration of the movie should be greater than 100, something like that. Now basically what I did, for the already created view I altered the view. Now I added some more condition, right? Now I'm executing this. Okay, it is done. Once again I will just display, let me write it down once again. I will display this, sorry, I will display this. It will show accordingly. Rating will be if you can see, previously I got 194 rows, now I got 113 rows. Here I have only PG data, and length is greater than 100 for each and every data. Accordingly, what I'm trying to say is we can create the views normally just like how we did it in the tables. We can display it, we can alter it. Up to here, that is creating and altering is okay. We can do normally. However, we did it in the Tableau, and of course dropping is also okay in the same way. However, we drop the tables here also. If I think this is of no use and if I want to remove it completely, I will use drop command. Okay, I'm just dropping the view. I will use same drop a view name. Previously what we did, drop table name, right? Here now drop view name. If I execute this, let me, here is my view name. I'm just executing this now. Okay, I actually see our view is completely removed from my database, right? If I once again try to select it, it won't display. It says doesn't exist. Okay, so up to here the concept is same. What we did for Tableau, sorry, it's not sorry guys. What we did for tables, the concept is same for the views also till here. Okay, and one more thing, whenever we create views, it will save permanently in the database until we use drop command. If we use drop, same like the tables. However, we are permanently saving the tables, and if we want to remove, we are using the drop command. Here also views also same. Now let me tell you about the remaining points, that is update and delete. We will face some issues with this update and delete. Let me explain you about that. Before that, let me tell you the difference between table and view. First thing is that by using views, what is that, you know, tables, what we did, we created a tables. Okay, view what is doing, we are not create, of course we are creating the views, we can able to see the views from the view section. But here the concept is, by views I cannot say I'm going to create the tables kind of thing. What I'm doing, I'm just providing a view for the already existing tables. Correct? Whatever I'm doing here, I'm talking about film table, and I'm talking about the columns within the film table. I'm not creating any separate kind of data inside in views. Correct? We are just creating a view for already existing tables only. Am I right? That means views won't create separate table again. It is not going to create a separate table again to store the data. It is just creating a view for the existing table. Am I right? Let me write it here. I'm saying view won't create separate table. Can you see my screen? View won't create a separate table. Okay, I mean uh, whatever we are doing, like I'm basically storing this query, I'm just storing this query, that's it. I'm not creating film table again here. I'm just working on the already existing table, I'm creating a view, right? So that's what I'm saying. For views, view won't create table again. Okay, it is just creating a view for the existing table, right? We are working on the tables only, but we are creating some separate views for that. Correct? Guys, please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
So basically, I'm not creating any separate table to, display the output or store the query. We are just creating a view for the existing table. Correct? So now we have few points that if we add any new data in the view, okay, suppose I created the view. After creating the view, suppose I added any new data in the view. Suppose let's talk about in the table. Okay, how we will add data in the views, sorry, table here. See, I already have my film table here. Okay, in which I have my rating column and length column. Correct? I created a view here previously, I just dropped it, but imagine we are having the same view. I use the same condition here, rating is equals to PG and 100. That is, I'm not creating a separate table for this, I'm just creating a view for the already existing film table here. From the film table only I'm creating a view. In the film table, suppose I have 100 rows or 1000 rows now. Okay, I created a view for this. Tomorrow maybe some new rows inserted into the film table, that is table. If any new data came into the table, that data will be automatically added to the view also. That means basically whenever we are executing this film table only now. So if any new data added to the table, we can see that it will impact we can see that, or that data will be updated automatically in the views also, right? If we add any new data in the table, that will be.
Divya,
Mhm.
we can
Yes.
also display the data, right? Then why we are using view? Just for to show for the clients or
No,
just
no,
for
it's
our
not like
reference?
that. I'm displaying only film data here. If I'm displaying the table, I will get all the rows which am existing in the film table, correct? If I
Hmm.
want to see this data, I'm writing these two lines of code where rating is equals to PG and length is greater than 100. Instead of writing these two lines again, I'm just writing one simple line here. Let me show you on joins also, then you can really differentiate, because instead of writing four
Okay.
five lines of code again and again, I created a view and I just with one single line I'm showing this kind of data. I'm not using where rating is equals to PG and length is greater than 100 again, like
For
that. It
joining also in
for,
view also we use joins. Is it you're trying to say?
yeah, it's not
Okay.
like in views we using joins.
Hmm.
Whatever uh, we can do
Right.
on the tables, maybe joins, subqueries, where clauses, group by clauses, everything. For everything we are just creating the view. Whenever we are creating the view, we can see that under the view, but it is nothing that we are creating a new kind of table for that. Okay, we are just creating the view for the existing table. That is, here I'm creating the view for film table. I already have my film table. I'm creating a view called as a vfilm pg, that is by default virtually. That is the reason everyone will use view is nothing but a virtual table. Here I'm virtually creating a table, but not physically. I'm not physically keeping one table and inserting data again into the view. I'm virtually creating a view for the film table, and I'm storing the data inside the view. That's it. That is the reason I said view is a way of storing the data. In the definition, it is a way of storing the data. We are not creating the data or inserting the data into the views. We are just storing the data from the tables. We are taking some data from the tables according to the conditions, and we are just storing inside the views, so that whenever we need it, instead of writing long queries, we can just display that uh, particular view. So, and we can display that particular data.
In
Okay.
short, we can understand in this way that if we write just like queries before we did in previous classes,
Hmm.
instead of like viewing, I mean, to see the output, we can use a view. In
Yes,
that way, I
yes,
can
yes,
understand that.
yes, yes. Let me show
Exactly.
you. Let me show
Okay.
you. We have joins here. Okay. We created many joins. What is this table? Let's deal with any another. I don't want to disturb Maven Movies database much. Okay. Let's see. We have examples also. We solved some examples. Where was that? Here, examples. One second, guys. This is one table basically called as examples one, which I created some tables here, like, I mean, sorry, example one is my database. I created some tables like address, city, country, and customer, right? So we solved some questions here. I thought to show you this at the end, but for now, as you are confusing, let me show it now only, and then I will discuss the remaining points. So we said we used joins here, maybe in a join. Let me, right? First, let me activate examples database. This is examples one. Where is examples? I have only two here. Okay, this is examples one. I'm activating examples one database in which I have four tables. That is address, city, customer, and country, right? And we displayed something like this. We solved some example previously. Display all customers whose name starts with A and lives in India. Correct? Suppose this is my query, right? I wrote this many lines of code to display this data. Okay, if I know that I'm going to use this very frequently in my database, whenever I want to use, instead of displaying this every time, I can create views for this. Okay, so here suppose if without where condition also, basically what we will do for joins, we will create the views. We can create like this also, because maybe the condition will changes. Okay, now I'm displaying name starts with A and lives in India. Maybe tomorrow I want maybe name start with B and lives in India. For that, what we will use basically for joins, up to joins, we'll create a view. We will display that view and we will make the changes accordingly. Like that we will do, but whatever it is we can do. For example, I'm creating for this complete query a view. Okay, here my question is names starting with A and lives in India. This is my query here. If I want to, fetch this data, I need to write this query again and again. If I want to work on this data, I need to write the query again and again. Instead of that, if I am creating a view, how I will create a view? Let me create it here only. Create. I don't have any views in this database. I don't have any views in this database. I'm creating a view now. Create a view name. Let me write the view name as joins for customer table, address table, city and country, right? Maybe I will say simply any name we can write. For example, as this is example one database, baby joins. Okay, I'm telling joins on maybe a India, something like this. I will write whatever I can write. We can write any view name as per our understanding. We can write. I wrote some view name here. I will use as keyword and I will store this complete query. Sorry, I will store this complete query here. Now I'm going to create a view for this. I said create view name as, and I'm storing this complete query in a view. I executed. Let me refresh. Employees one, I got view. Joins A India is my view now. Suppose I'm frequently using this view, I'm frequently I frequently displaying this view, using this view whenever I wanted to use this view according to my question. Next day my maybe they want to see the first name starting with B, or else they want to see some another country, or else they want if we are working with the same data also, instead of writing, basically if we want to display the same data again, if again next day also, if I wanted to execute the same query, what I will do, I'll start writing from select first name last name, I'll do joins, I'll see what is a common column, I'll need to do all these steps, right? And then I'll execute. Instead of that, what I will do, I'll just execute this view. Correct? I'll just say select star from view. If I'm just executing the single line, I'm getting the same output which I got previously. Instead of writing the long queries again and again, we will use joins. That too, we won't create views on each and every concept. If we are, suppose if we started working on any project, after some days, we will get some idea that on daily basis, what kind of work we are doing, right? For that, kind of queries only we will create views and we will work on that views, just to save our time. Instead of writing queries again and again, we will use views. Again, it's completely our choice. Without creating one view also we can finish our project. It's our own choice to make our work simplify. And again, I'm saying, if any time, suppose I'm not creating any views, I'm normally working with my database, but suppose if anyone, as I said, someone asked access on my table, at that time also, for their particular requirement, I can create a view and I can share a view, like that. Okay, nothing much. It's our personal choice to use the views, but basically we will use views to save our energy and time. That's it, I can say. We won't show either views or this tables to the clients. Clients they will need some kind of data. Suppose example, imagine I'm working for any of the company, maybe like, if they are if I'm working for any of the what we call hospital database, or any of the college university database. Suppose let's talk about university database. Okay, there are many students in my university. Okay, they are taking many exams. Okay, according to the course, the client will need to see the data, like how many students paid the amount, what is their exam, what is their result, like that. Just I'm giving a very sample example over there. So every time whatever they need, I need to execute the queries in my SQL query, and that output should be will be displayed on their end, right, on their app or application website, whatever it is. So accordingly, I know that I'm going to use this table again and again, this join again and again in my work. Instead of writing all these lines, maybe we can join eight tables also we can join. As I said, up to now I joined 8 tables is my maximum limit. I mean, last I joined 8 tables so far in my this many years of experience. So instead of joining 8 tables again and again, I can simply you know create a view, and I can use a view to save my energy and time. It's my choice, however I can do it. End of the day, client needs the output, that's it, right? So we have a concept called views just to save, we can access the queries easily, we can store the queries easily, we can we can write the queries easily, right? Okay, clear? Guys, please respond, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yes,
Let's
clear.
discuss these 3 points. If you have any doubts also, you will get some idea. This is the main points here. So what I'm saying, if I'm adding any new data in the table, suppose I created some view on almost 4 tables, right? If I got some new rows of data, new customer details over there, obviously we are creating a view on that table, so that data inside the tables will be impacted in our views also automatically, right? This is okay. Next, if any, I'm saying if any new data come into the added into the table, that will be updated or impacted on the view automatically. Okay, so but we will face some problems with, as I said, update and view, update and delete commands. We have update command and delete command. So far what I did, I created a view, I altered the view, I dropped the view, this is fine. Okay, now next we have commands called as update and delete in the table. Suppose I'm updating any of the view. Okay, uh, basically I said I will give the access to the non-coders on the views, that will it will be safe, right? When it will be safe, if they update something in my table, if unknowingly or knowingly, if they delete some rows in my table, if it won't affect, I mean, sorry, let me repeat. If they update any data in the view, or else knowingly or unknowingly, if they delete something inside the view, if it won't impact on my original table, up, then only my data will be safe, right? Suppose I just gave this view to someone. Okay, I have some, let me display this view. I'm activating the database, guys. So I'm just displaying this view. Okay, we dropped this, right? Let me create it once again. Okay, I'm displaying this view again. I have 198 rows. Okay, I shared this with someone. I'm saying that we will share views to, we will give access to the views, so that to be on the safer side for some non-coders. How it will be on the safer side? If they're deleting some row here, for example, I have 194 rows, they deleted 5 rows here, knowingly or unknowingly. If they deleted the data inside the views, if that output whatever accordingly deleted, in the sense it's not like they will wantedly deleting something, they wanted to change this data and they deleted something. Okay, so if suppose I said pg and length greater than 100 in this view, suppose they did something, they deleted some rows here, in out of 194 rows, suppose imagine they deleted 94 rows, they want that 100 rows as their output, that's the reason they deleted 94 rows. So until and unless that 94 rows will be, it will be safe in the table, If they deleted something in the view, if automatically that data is deleted in the tables, then it's waste of creating views only, correct? We need to create a view in such a way, if any row is deleted in the view, that should delete in the view level only, it should not impact my main table. That row should not be deleted from my main table. If I can able to create views like that only, then there is some, we can say views are useful, or else waste only, right? Am I right?
Yes, it is
if we
something like
update if we update something, like, I give an access about on this view to someone, they wanted to update some data, they updated some data here, okay, they updated something here, okay, for them only. If that update effect, that is okay. If that affected in my table, my original table, again, no use of using views. So the concept here is, for creating, altering and drop, that is okay, but we have two more commands in SQL, that is update and delete, okay. So basically, if we create views normally, if we update any uh, data, or if we delete any data in the views, that impact will be shown on the tables also. So basically, I need to discuss, I want to say one point here, that views are updatable. Okay, that means if I am updating something, if I am deleting something, that will impact my main table. Okay, so I will say views are updatable. But if this is the scenario, this that is waste. Okay, I need to create views in such a way that that should be non updatable. The views, let me remove this point and let me say, if we create views normally, and if we use delete and update command on views, that will impact our table. Okay, we should create views in such a way, if we delete or update, if we use delete or update command in the views, that data should not impact on my tables. So for that, I'm saying the views are, basically, if I am updating on the view, the data in the table is also updating. So we have one more option here, the views are non updatable also. But to create views in such a way that if it is non updatable, to keep the views non updatable, what we need to do here, we need to use some concepts whenever we create the views. Okay, the concepts are, suppose while creating views, we use three concepts here. First is distinct, okay, the second is aggregate functions, and the third one is group by clause. In any of the view, of course, according to the query, we will decide what to use. But if we use distinct clause, if we use aggregate function, and if we use group by clause, these three words or these three concepts, any one of the concept in the view, while creating the view, if we use any one of these concepts, by default, if we make any delete, if we apply any delete or update command on the view, it won't impact our table. It will just impact on the view itself, then and there on that view itself. If they are deleting some rows, for that view only the data will be deleted, but the data will be there in the table as it is. If we don't use this three in the sense, any one of the concept, I'm not saying we need to use this three together. If at least I need to use distinct clause, aggregate function or group by clause, any one if I use while creating a view, if on that syntax, if anyone is deleting or updating, that won't be affected my main table. This is the point. I'll show you practically about this, but before that, did you got my point what I'm trying to say?
One question.
Yes, please.
No, ma'am. I didn't understand anything.
Non-updatable means we are restricting DML commands.
Restricting the ML commands in the sense?
Insert, update, and delete.
See, I'm only talking about updating and deleting here. Okay, that is of course a part of DML commands. We are Shoshavan, please try to understand. Once again, I'm repeating. So basically, what I am saying, creating views is okay. Using alter command and drop command is okay. DDL commands is okay whenever we are dealing with DML commands, especially whenever we are dealing with delete command and update command. If we insert any new data in the table, it will be affected in the views and vice versa. That is okay. Inserting is fine, but we will face issues in real time with update and delete command only. So if normally here in my previous example I created view very normally, this one. I didn't use any distinct clause here, I didn't use any group by clause here, and I didn't use any aggregate function here. If I create views like this, and if I delete any row in the view, that row will be deleted in the table also. Okay, we can use like this, we can create views like this, but we should not, if we create a view normally, we should not use update command and delete command on that views. So to be on the safer side, especially whenever we are giving access to someone else, we need to create views in such a way that in that view, inside that view, we need to at least maintain any one of this concepts. At least we need to add distinct, we need to use aggregate function, we need to use group by clause. Again, we will use this according to the question only. If the question not required, we cannot, I mean, if the requirement is not needed, we cannot use aggregate functions and group by clauses, but we can use distinct over there. Distinct is normally it will just display the unique data only, correct? So if the requirement, if the particular question is not needed with these two concepts, we will use distinct normally in the SQL query, and by at least by using distinct we will try to create the view. If we use any one of those three concept inside the view, if I, after creating that, if I deleted any row from the view, it won't delete that row in the table. That is what I'm saying. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Shushavan, is that okay?
Ma'am,
I'll show
basically
you.
you are saying views are updatable, right?
No, I'm not talking, I mean, if we write normally it is updatable, that's what I'm saying. If we create views normally, it is updatable. If I write, if for example, if I wrote normally like this, I didn't use any of the three command clauses here or commands like distinct clause, group by clause, aggregate function, I didn't used in this view, correct? So for this particular views, if we write views normally without using those three concepts, that views are updatable. That means if I delete any row from this, now from this view particularly, now if I delete any row, that directly that data will be go and deleted in the complete film table. That is wrong actually, that will impact my database even more harder, correct? Suppose I created view like this, I used only two lines, okay? Then what I did, if I delete, if you want I will show you practically now, okay? So let's see practically, then you can see, they can
Yeah,
understand
then
the
we will
example.
understand.
Okay, I thought you to show the example on this functions only, but let me show you normally also. I'll remember which row is deleted and I will again add that row. Suppose, is this, one second guys, this is payment movies. I have my V film PG, correct? This one view I created, let me just display that view data, okay? Select star from V film PG is the view which I have in my database right now, and this is the data. Here you can see 194 rows are there. Okay, what kind of query I used to create this V film PG? this one, correct? If you see here, length greater than 100 is not there here. Maybe I used only up to here. Okay, let me remove this for now. So this is my 194 data. I'm again executing only this one. Okay, see, forget about everything. Let's try to discuss. Let's try to see one example here. So I have one condition. I mean, basically, without using any views, I'm writing normal SQL table statement here. I am saying select star from film where rating is equals to PG. Okay, I'm executing this. I got some data here. I have 194 rows here. Okay, now what I did, I created a view on this query only. I will let me just drop this view. I'll show you from starting. V film PG. Okay, I'm dropping this view, that is I'm deleting it completely. Where I need to use view here, right? Drop view name. It deleted completely. If I'm see, I don't have any view now with the name of V film PG. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm creating once again, I'm creating a view. Create view, same name I will use, V film PG as. Okay, create view name as. Inside that view, I'm just storing the same SQL statement. Okay, select star from film where rating is equals to PG. Okay, I'm creating this view now. My view got created. Basically, I'm just removing this. What I'm doing, this is my this is my normal SQL statement, and for the same SQL statement, I created the view. Okay, if I am displaying this view, I'm displaying this view now. Okay, you can see I got 194 rows. So what I did, if I'm executing this statement or if I'm executing this view, we are having for now the same 194 rows because I created the view on this one only. I'm saying whenever we are creating the views, if we use those three concepts, that is distinct clause, aggregate function, and group by clause. If we use any one of that three concepts, at least I need to use distinct, or else I need to use some aggregate function or group by clause. If I use any one of them inside, whenever I am creating view, at that time, if I delete any row also, it won't affect my table. For now, I didn't use any one of that concept. I wrote very normally like this, without using normally, in the sense without using those three concepts. If I write a view, and on that views, if I apply any delete command, if I use any delete command and update command, that will impact my original table also. Okay, let's see that. Let me delete any one of the row and let's see practically. So maybe how to delete. I will delete this first row where film id is equals to 1. Okay, if it is first row, I can add it afterwards. Okay, I'm deleting only one row here. So in the view, I will delete it. How I need to delete it? Same concept. Delete from view. Basically from table, how we will delete? Delete from table name. Then we will use some where condition. Same concept. Now I'm saying delete from this view where film ID. I have film ID column is equals to, what was that? Is that 1? Let me check. Is 1, right? Film id is equals to 1. I'm having 194 rows. I'm deleting where film id is equals to 1. Basically, I'm performing delete command on this view, and I created this view without using either distinct clause or group by clause, or what was that, aggregate function, right? If we create the views like that without using that concepts, if I delete any data from the view, that data will be deleted from the table also. Okay, now I'm deleting the view. From the view, I'm deleting this data. Okay, where film id is equals to 1, I'm executing it. We have a foreign key here. So I need to delete in wherever I have film IDs, I need to delete. So let's see the same example in some sample databases. Okay. Better I will work on employees to understand, to make you understand. I'm using Durgasoft. We are done with the time, but quickly let's try to see at least one example. Maybe Durgasoft 2. Okay. Use Durgasoft 2. Here I'm having employees 2 data. I'm only having one value here. Okay, so I'm using Durgasoft database and I'm using employees table. I have two rows here. Okay, now I will create a view on this table itself. Okay, I don't have any views so far in this database. I will create a view saying create view name. Maybe view name employee salary. I will give something like that. As I will say, I want to display where salary is equals to 50,000. Okay, we have only two records. Directly I'm giving where salary is equals to 50,000. I'm creating a view like this. Guys, let's see the example tomorrow. Okay, we are done with the time. I will show you practically how it will affect without using the concept is, if we using three concepts, if we using at least one of the concept from these three concepts in the view, if we delete or if we update also in the view, that row will not be deleted in the table. Without using any of these three concepts, if we use normally in the normally if I created any view and if I deleted any row, that row will be deleted from my table also. So for that reason, whenever we are creating views, we need to make sure we need to use any one of this concepts. Okay, this point is clear for you, right? Let's see practically tomorrow how it works, then you can understand.
Ma'am, while creating views, always we need to use this distinct create function and group by clause. Huh?
Anything is fine. See, we whenever we are using views, whenever we are creating views, we cannot use aggregate functions and group by clauses, right? In this data I cannot use aggregate or group by clause. So
Right.
in that case I will use distinct in the sense, if it is, it will just display my unique data, that's it, right? It won't affect anything. We can use distinct in every of in any of the SQL statement. If I use
Okay.
distinct star from film, it will show me the same data. If I use normally select star from film also, it will show me the same data. See, select star from film does, oh sorry, this is Durga soft, right? So if I'm saying
If you
select
don't
star
use
from,
also that time also it is working, right?
which what is working, views are working.
Yeah, views are working, no? Because
Views
here
are
you are
working,
not
views
using.
are working. See, that's what I'm saying. Views will work. We will create, we will use everything. But if I delete the data, it will affect my table.
Okay.
If I am sure that I'm only using that view, I won't delete or I won't use delete command and update command on any of that views. I can create normally. I can create normally without that concepts also. so that I can use that, instead of writing all the queries again and again, I can use the views personally if I'm using that one. Okay. But without any of that concepts, if mistakenly I deleted something in the view, that data will be deleted in the table also. For that reason, especially if I'm sure that I'm not going to use, basically we only use whatever it is,
Okay.
right? Or else our team members.
For example, here you are using create view name
Mhm.
as select star from employees where salary is equal to 50,000.
Correct.
But if mistakenly I delete something, so this salary 50,000 data also will be deleted from the view and from the table as
From
well.
the table as well. That is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's the reason we should use either distinct or group by
or
clause
or
or
group by
aggregate
clause
function.
or aggregate function, as we
Okay.
cannot use aggregate function and group by clause in each and every syntax. For that syntaxes, we can use
Should
distinct.
use distinct. Okay,
Yeah,
understood.
if
Now
needed we
understood.
will use this one, we will use this one, we will use this one.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Understood.
concept is clear. Again, of course, if it is clear also, let's see example tomorrow. Okay, for now
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
ending the session, we are almost done. Okay, bye bye.